Hey everyone, this is Derrick Broze with the Bros for Mayor campaign. Let me know if you can hear me okay. This is going to be our Town Hall live stream number 8 after I missed last week, had to take a week off, but now we're back. And this is going to be just a 15-20 minute short video kind of catching everybody up with what we've been doing in this past week. We've got a busy week, busy couple of weeks, and I only anticipate things getting busier. And we've got a couple of events coming up that I'm excited about. So before I get into that, please give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a smile. Anybody who's hearing this, possibly let me know that the audio is coming through okay. And also, if you are watching this live and you're seeing it, or even if you're watching it later, please go ahead and share it on your Facebook page, share it on any groups you're a part of inside the groups, inviting people to check it out on any pages that you manage, or if you're watching this on YouTube or elsewhere, please do share it there as well. And just for those who might not realize, we do have a Twitter account for the campaign. We do have an Instagram account for the campaign. We have a YouTube channel, and obviously we have a Facebook page. And then, of course, you can always find everything related to the campaign at derrickbroze.com, which is the website where we run everything from. So, all right, I'm going to assume the volume's working okay. If you can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up, give me a smile, wave, anything that will confirm that you can hear me. I apologize if I'm a little sneezy today. I actually just got back from doing our volunteer Buffalo Bayou cleanup, volunteering with the Buffalo Bayou Partnership. And today's activity involved pulling ragweed and cutting ragweed with a machete. And apparently I'm allergic to ragweed, like a lot of other things here in Houston. And so I'm a little sneezy. I apologize for that. But it was a good time. Very hot. We started at 8:30. I stayed there till about 11 o'clock and just got home, got showered up, and ready to do this little podcast here. So we are excited about that. I'm excited about that. We're excited to work with groups like the Buffalo Bayou Partnership, because for those who've heard me talk about my plans for not only our newly unveiled plan, Hemp Houston, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, but in general, the ideas I have for cleaning up the bayou, for beautifying the city, for planting food forests and urban farms and things of that sort all around the city. A big part of that is to plant hemp along the bayou and to, just clean out the bayou, clean out the trash, the waste, clean out all the things that might be contributing to the flooding in our city. That's a big problem here. I'm talking about most of the 9 core issues that I'm focused on right here are, I think, big picture issues that they matter and they do affect every single Houstonian in this city, but they're not your traditional local issues. I'm not focused on potholes and flooding and building infrastructure and reducing crime and the typical kind of things that we're told about on the local level. It's just not my focus. But that doesn't mean I have nothing to say about that. These 9 issues and our new plan, Hemp Houston, actually, I think, address those issues in a much more, I'd say, not only creative, but mindful and effective fashion than the typical things we see from other local candidates and politicians. Because the way I see things is that their ideas typically revolve around, let's throw money at a project or an idea. That's the answer to the problems, is just create a new department, create some new new area of government, or create a new tax or something like that. So I'm trying to say, let's actually solve some of the problems. Let's protect the city of Houston. Let's protect our individual liberties. Let's defend Houston from infringements on our civil liberties, on our freedom of speech, on our health and our families. And at the same time, use those creative programs to fund other programs and, to reduce the flooding, to reduce crime, and yes, to get around to the potholes, and also to pay the firefighters. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead. We just mentioned that I was at the Bayou this morning. That was our volunteer activity for this week. Next week, we'll be having a volunteer activity, I think Wednesday night at Food Not Bombs, Houston, downtown. I'm going to have whoever wants to come join us with the campaign, come out and do some volunteering. We're going to keep volunteering throughout the campaign and even beyond the campaign, because a big part of my campaign is to encourage you to get active and get connected in your community, not just to look to me or any of the mayor candidates or any of the presidential candidates as somebody who's going to fix your problems and save the world for you, because that's just not going to happen. I want to encourage you to take action. So that's what we're doing with this campaign. So we're going to do that in the form of volunteering throughout the next few months and beyond. So you volunteered at the Buffalo Bayou this morning. Next Wednesday, we'll be working with Food Not Bombs Houston. And what else we got coming up? Tomorrow, we have a volunteer meeting. So anybody who's interested in volunteering with us, check out if you just search on Facebook, Broze for Mayor Volunteer, you're going to see a group pop up. There's a couple of questions I asked that you answer. Just join the group. We've got more and more people joining every day. Every time we do an event, we're meeting new people. We're talking to new people. So I'm excited about that. Let me tell you an example of that. This Thursday night, I participated. I got to speak to the Cannabis Reform of Houston group that had a meeting, their monthly social meeting at Midtown Bar and Grill in Montrose, and was able to speak to about 40 or 50 people there who all care about the issue of cannabis and talk about how I feel about cannabis, my plan to decriminalize cannabis, my plan to end the drug war in Houston, to reduce crime by redirecting resources away from nonviolent drug offenses towards actual violent crimes and human trafficking and things of that sort. We got to talk about all these ideas. I got to meet cannabis entrepreneurs and cannabis nurses and those who use it for medical reasons and those who use it because that's their recreation of choice. And yeah, again, business people. And it was just great. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the future of Houston, because although people think Texas is kind of backwards, the reality is that Texas, I think, understands that cannabis is coming. You see the economic boom behind it. And in Houston, we have the chance, being the fourth biggest city in the country, the biggest in Texas, to lead the way and to create brand new industry around cannabis, for hemp for fuel. This is a part of the Hemp Houston plan, hashtag Hemp Houston, using hemp for fuel, hemp for plastic alternative, trying to move Houston away from being an oil and gas city that supports and works with companies that have been involved in environmental disasters and destruction to the planet, and moving towards working with companies that actually care about the planet, the city, and have good, sustainable business practices. This is possible. It's possible to run a city and to run your life in general while living in alignment with your principles. And I think it's time for us to do that. If we understand voting with our dollar on the individual level, I want to bring that to local government, local politics. All right, so Thursday night we got to talk to Cannabis Reform of Houston. Again, very, very awesome. I was thrilled to talk with them. Dang ragweed, picking ragweed this morning, volunteering at the bayou. Now it's got me all a little bit sneezy and sniffly. So yesterday night, I was a guest on the Green Gold Lounge on Texas 101 Jams. Check out texas101jams.com. And they were just great people. I got to talk to Latonia Whittington and Tamar Bibbs, who are just doing good things. They're doing cannabis consulting. They've got a radio show talking about cannabis issues. So I was able to come talk to them last night. And in this last week, I've been reached out to for 3 more forums/debates. So I will be in eight of the debates that are coming up starting August 1st in the city of Houston with the other candidates. There are at least a couple of them where the Mayor Sylvester Turner is actually going to participate, and at least one of them will be televised and hosted by a local TV anchor or something of that sort. So I'm in the race till November. Monday morning, this is our next coming event. Monday morning, we are going to file to make this campaign official. And so I'm going to pay the filing fee. We're going to fill out the paperwork and do all that silly kind of stuff, which really just drives me crazy. But we're going to do that so I can stay in this race till November 5th and beyond and talk about these ideas. So I'm going to be in 8 of the debates, and all I have to do is pay this little fee, which I don't like giving the government any money at all. Really just doesn't rub me the right way. But I care about these ideas, and I care about being in that position to be in 8 of the debates in front of Houstonians talking about issues that I know none of the other candidates are going to talk about. None of them are even touching on anything that we're talking about. They're definitely not talking about anything as radical as we are. And some of them will get on TV. I've had 3 different people reach out to me for interviews related to the campaign this week, a couple of podcasts, a local media station who I will wait to tell you who until they officially interview me. And I should be going on the Isaiah Carey show on Fox 26 pretty soon. So we're going to get local coverage. It's starting to happen. We're about to break that local mainstream media barrier that has been up where they've been focused on only a few of the candidates. I think we're getting close to being able to push past it because our campaign is growing. As far as Facebook goes, we're almost to 1,000 likes. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. The ragweed really has messed me up. We're almost to 1,000 likes on our Facebook page. Woohoo! Which just to me means we're growing. And the time that we announced, I think May 14th is when we first announced, till now, it's only been 2 months, and we're pushing. We're raising money. Starting tomorrow, we have yard signs. So if you live in the city of Houston and you want to come get a yard sign for a small donation, get in touch. We want to put these yard signs all around the city. You're about to start seeing the 8x4 big street signs that you've been seeing of the other candidates. You're about to see Broze for mayor in our awesome black, white, and gray, which are my favorite colors, all over the city. We're going to start putting those in strategic points around the city. You're going to see yard signs. You're going to see street signs. We're going to be getting t-shirts for those who want to, wear those and promote the campaign. We have stacks and stacks of flyers for anybody who wants to meet up. I've got posters for people who want to come, get some of those and put them up in your business or put them up in your neighborhood, or do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do, but we need your help to spread this message, because as I said, there has been some ignoring going on by the mainstream media, the local mainstream media, but we're going to crack that. So Monday morning, we go downtown, City Hall. Whoever wants to join, I'd love to have lots of you come. I'm sending out press releases. We're going to try to get some of the other media. I know some of the other candidates are planning to be there. I want to file day one, Monday morning, to let them know that we are in this campaign officially, and that we're going to stay in till the end, that I'm taking it serious enough that we're going to be in the debates and we're going to go ahead and play their game this way. So if you want to join us downtown Houston City Hall, Monday morning, I'll let you know the time tomorrow. We do have a Facebook event where I put 8:30 or 9 a.m. We might change that to be a little later, because I want to make sure we have the most opportunity to be there when the media is going to be there, because they will be there. So stay tuned for that. But that's Monday morning. And once that goes on, then we're official. That means the local media cannot ignore me. Excuse me. According to the FCC's own rules, the equal time law, if they give one candidate time on a show or on a program, if the other candidates or anybody in the race contacts them and says, hey, I noticed you gave so-and-so a time slot, according to the FCC equal time law, you have to give me that same time slot in that same amount of time. So if they try to ignore me, I will use their silly little rules against them to make sure, because I want to make sure the messages that we're talking about decriminalizing cannabis, ending the drug war, reducing violent crime, turning the Petro Metro, which is what we call Houston out here, into Hemp Houston, and protecting people's medical freedom, defending and standing against mandatory vaccination orders, and on and on and on. I want to make sure that those messages are in the debates. Now, while I'm on that topic, let me address something, because I've noticed since I was at Cannabis Reform of Houston, somebody in the group posted a picture of my flyer, and most people were really supportive. But there were a couple of people who responded with things like, oh, not this conspiracy theorist, not this pseudoscience peddling, yada, yada, yada. And this is nothing new to me. I've been doing this kind of work for 10 years, not politics, but just journalism and activism, reporting on controversial topics that people don't want to talk about and that people want silenced now in these days. And so I'm not like worried about being called names. I'm used to that. But I do worry that here in the city of Houston, that we're going to see what's happened elsewhere, which is that calling somebody an anti-vaxxer or a conspiracy theorist or pseudoscience, whatever, it gets people to be afraid to associate with somebody. So perhaps somebody will say, we can't have that anti-vaxxer on our debate or on our forum. We'll see if those kind of things happen, or people start wanting to try to protest my involvement because I'm talking about such controversial things. So in the Cannabis Reform of Houston group, somebody, and you can go in there and look at it if you want, I don't even know the guy's name, but somebody was just basically like, no, you're going to have to ignore this guy and boo to him. And I'm not afraid of people saying no to my campaign. That's fine. But at least do so under, with the correct information. And this guy is saying that I'm peddling conspiracy theories, that and what I told him is what it really comes down to for me is we're not getting into a science debate. At least that's not what my campaign is about. The campaign is about saying that you own yourself. You own yourself. And because of that self-ownership, you have the right to decide what you do with your body and what you put in your body, how you medicate yourself, your body, your choice, bodily autonomy. These are things that I believe in wholeheartedly, and I apply it consistently across the board. And so that means I support decriminalization of cannabis, because I think whether or not you want to smoke weed for medical, recreational, or you're just interested in it as a business, that's your choice. I also support, getting rid of fluoride in the water. And again, without even getting into the health aspect of it, just to say that I don't think the state should take people's taxpayer dollars and put a medication into the water supply because the state thinks it's good for you. So I don't think the government should be involved in mandating healthcare and deciding healthcare decisions for people. That's a personal decision between you and your family and what you decide to do. And you guys can have that debate and that discussion and figure out what works for you. But I don't think that's the role of the government at all. So because of that, again, without getting into the science, I am just off the bat going to be against mandatory vaccination orders. I'm going to be against attempts to remove people's rights to exempt from vaccinations. And as far as I'm concerned, whether your reason is religious, medical, etc., it's all personal. It's your personal choice. You're the one that should decide that. I don't think you need to even tell the state, oh, my religion says I shouldn't do this, or I have a medical condition, or if you don't want it, you don't want it. You don't need to answer to the state, as far as I'm concerned. And the reason I'm taking this position, because some people have said, hey, maybe it's an unnecessarily controversial position. But let me tell you this, friends, more than any other issue, the two main issues that people have messaged me and emailed me about during this race, people in Houston, parents, adults, concerned people, are 5G and vaccinations. I've received more comments and questions about 5G and vaccinations than any other things. And these issues, all 9 of these are important to me. The drug war and every single aspect is important to me. But I can't help but note that there are people who are definitely concerned about this. There are parents, moms, and dads who are coming to our events and who are asking me about this and who want to know where I stand. And they also notice the silence from the other candidates. I guarantee you're not going to hear the candidates take these positions. And I think I'm taking the moral correct position that it is immoral, wrong, unethical, and should be just understood to be illegal for the state to come fine you, pressure you, coerce you. Eventually, what are they going to do if you don't pay these fines with the mandatory vaccination orders that we've seen in Brooklyn and that now we're seeing in Germany? What's going to happen? Well, if you don't pay that fine, somebody's eventually going to come collect that. And let's say they send their tax collector guy. Well, usually he's probably going to come with an officer, and that officer is carrying a gun on his hip just in case you don't act right. So at the end of the day, all of this is built on force and violence and coercion and the threat of violence. That's what it's built on. Because if you don't do what they say, then they're going to fine you. And maybe if you don't pay up, well, then they're just going to garnish your wages. They're going to take money from you. And that's taking from you as well. It's taking your livelihood. Well, maybe they don't do that. They just come to your house and knock and knock and knock and knock until you answer the door. And they tell you either give them the money or give them the kid or give them your arm or whatever. I mean, I feel like people are not thinking this logically through. And I'm not trying to spread fear or conspiracy theories. I'm just saying, think about it logically. Use that beautiful brain you have and think about, where is this going to go? Why else would the state tax somebody or fine somebody other than to pressure them and to coerce them into doing what they want? And if you don't submit to that coercion, to that pressure, well, they'll find some way to make you comply, or they'll just ruin you. And it's unfortunate that I've seen some of these folks online. I will say I'm totally aware of this. I know that this is going to be the most controversial issue that I've taken on, other than probably 5G, which is interesting that the two most controversial issues are the ones most people are reaching out on. Now, I've also got people who support my position on ending no-knock raids, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, we put out a brand new video last week about dangerous no-knock raids, and there will be new information coming about that next week. I don't want to get too lost in that, but lots more information is coming out on the Houston Police Department killing Dennis Tuttle and Regina, his wife, the couple and their dog, during a no-knock raid that went horribly wrong and that we know the officers lied about. So I'm against those. All these positions, I'm getting groups of people. The cannabis crowd's interested. The 5G crowd's interested. The vaccination, medical freedom crowd's interested. The people who are concerned about surveillance are interested in our campaign. The people who support hemp and food forests and community gardens, they're interested in the campaign. The people who want to end police violence, we're getting them interested in the campaign. Those who are working with the homeless and who want to see the anti-food sharing ordinance overturned are interested in the campaign. Those who care about free speech and civil liberties, they are interested in our campaign. And those who think that the mayor, not just Mayor Sylvester Turner, but the mayor of Houston, that position itself, has too much power, like I do, they are interested in our campaign, because I am the only one talking about these issues. I am the only one saying that they're going to do anything about that. As I said earlier, the rest of them seem to be focused on getting you to think about specifically and only about flooding, potholes, and things like that, which I'm not saying don't have a place and don't have an importance to certain Houstonians. But what I'm talking about affects everyone: poor, rich, rich neighborhood, poor neighborhood, black, brown, trans, gay, bi, Christian, atheist, whatever. If you live in the city of Houston, these issues affect you, and changing them and making progress on them will make life better for everyone. So just think about that, because we're really trying to do something different. I invite you guys to support our campaign financially if you can. A $5 donation from everybody can really go a long way. As I said, we're about to have hundreds, 100. We're gonna have 100 yard signs to put all around the city of Houston in your yards. Hopefully, we're gonna have a good amount of those bigger signs that we're gonna start placing strategically around the city. We're about to file on Monday morning, and then after that, let me just be frank with you, our campaign is gonna be broke for a couple of days until we do some more fundraising. So if you've got $5, $10, whatever, and you want to throw it in the bank, visit DerrickBroze.com. and you can help contribute to the campaign to keep us going. Because like I said, we're about to file, which means we're official, and we're staying until November. I'm going to be in 8 of the forums. We're printing signs. We could use a little more money for some t-shirts, for more bumper stickers, for more flyers. We're just going to need money, unfortunately, to put into this. But I also don't want us to just sink our money into the political system. I want to continue to have volunteer days. Like this morning, I said, we went to the Buffalo Bayou doing some cleanup. We're going to be volunteering with Food Not Bombs next week. We're going to volunteer in different ways, community gardens. We're gonna have a community garden day coming up to show people that this is how we change things. We get involved, not just in the political system, because believe me, this is the one and only time I will ever run for office and play this game with these people. But I'm doing it. I'm gonna put everything I got, every ounce of strength in my body, and I'm gonna use you and your support, and we're gonna work together and collaborate, and we are gonna change the conversation in Houston. We're already doing it. The other campaigns are reaching out to me because they don't know anything about 5G, and they know it's time for them to figure it out because people are upset. So we're already changing it in that way. Once I'm on that debate stage, I have no doubt, I have full faith in my creator to give me the words that I need to say in that moment to say the things that the people need to hear so we can achieve change in this city. That's what I'm focused on. So I didn't really get into Hemp Houston. I've kind of just been ranting and talking about the events we had this week and what we've got coming up. But I do want to invite everybody to check out DerrickBroze.com. Check out our blog. I'll post a link real quick in the chat. The last page that we have, or the last post that we have, is about Hemp Houston, which is my new plan. It's a policy plan. It's a big vision. And like I said, it addresses the flooding. It addresses the drug war. It addresses crime. It addresses so many issues that the people of Houston care about. And we're going to end the drug war. We're going to clean up the bayou. We're going to start voting with our dollar and moving away from oil and gas companies with a history of environmental disasters. We're going to move towards hemp as an alternative fuel, as alternative to plastic, and encouraging oil and gas companies to invest in hemp. And we're going to turn Houston into a sanctuary city for cannabis, where we encourage this gigantic multi-million-dollar medical district that we have here, one of the biggest, medical resources in the world, to start putting any of the funds that are coming from the city government and from city taxpayers towards cannabis, medical cannabis research. And we're also going to open the doors and encourage and support cannabis-related businesses in the city. So that's what I mean when I say cannabis sanctuary city. And that plan, Hemp Houston, hashtag Hemp Houston, will reduce the jail population. It will stop ruining people's lives. It will free the victims of the drug war. It will reduce violent crime. It will reduce flooding while beautifying the bayou. It'll turn the Petro Metro into Hemp Houston as we embrace hemp as a fuel. And it'll make Houston a hub for cannabis science research. And finally, it'll be an economic boon centered around the cannabis industry here in Houston, both the recreational and medical cannabis industry in Houston. So I'm going to post that link to you guys below. You can go read a little more about that. But that's basically what I'm talking about, guys. We're trying to do big things. I'm not going to run for office and just do the same old thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point. Why would I even bother if I'm just going to be another guy with a red and white blue website that says, hey, it's time for hope and change and this and that, or it's time to do whatever. I'm coming in here to change things, to make things different. And so I'm going to be me. I'm going to talk about real-ish. We're going to, spread these ideas. I'm going to be on that debate stage. The very first forum that I will be on with the other candidates is August 1st. It's a Pride Forum, LGBTQ Pride Forum. It's going to be held at Texas Southern University. You'll see us posting about it. You'll see us talking about it, and we will be live streaming that so you can watch it from home if you can't make it in person. But we would love to get as many people to come support in person at the debates and the forums. And again, if you're free Monday morning, come out to City Hall. Or just watch the page tomorrow. We'll figure out the time. But Monday morning, City Hall, we're going to file. We're going to make this campaign official. And the media should be there. If we can get a bunch of our supporters there to just, really let's make this an event. And we'll file. We'll become official. And then we're going to just keep kicking ass. That's really all it comes down to. Next Friday, I speak at the Houston Property Rights Association. I'll tell you more about that as the week progresses. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys, for them. We got other events coming up, but I'll tell you guys about that. I know I've already given you a bunch of information. But I just want to shout out to everybody who came to the Cannabis Reform of Houston event on Thursday and who talked to me, who shared their ideas, who listened to what I had to say. So many of you were just great and very receptive and supportive, and it was freaking awesome. So thank you to Cannabis Reform of Houston. Thank you to Latonia Whittington. Thank you to Tamar Bibbs at Green Gold Lounge at Texas 101 Jams for having me on and talking with me. And just thank you to everybody who's been supporting us this far. Again, if you want to help out, you can go to our DerrickBroze.com and you can donate if you can. That's much appreciated. Or join our volunteer group and just see how you can help. We always have new ideas on how people can get involved and help. So check out the Broze for Mayor volunteer group. And hopefully I'll see you on Monday morning. Let's leave it there. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free, my friends. Peace.